Alright guys, I'm going to do a quick breakdown video of the Avast Marine plank. I really do like this company, so they've always been responsive. It's always been pretty good products. I use their calc reactor, their stirrer, that's great. I have their plank. I have a couple of their spyglass reactors for carbon and stuff like that. So I do use a lot of their products, and this one has been pretty good too. So I needed to clean it, so I opened it up to see what's in it. And they tend to use a lot of these little servo motors, which are pretty strong and work pretty well. And that's what they did in this one too. But you can look inside, and there's a spiral gear. I can get the light right. There's a spiral gear at the bottom that twists, and then there's some just some zip ties to keep the food moving around. But the spiral gear is really what gets it moving. And you can see the front here is where the spiral gear comes out. So that pushes the food out. And, you know, nice logo on the front. Nice clean inside. Again, I just cleaned it out, so. But the basic design is that spiral gear is pushing forward and twirling things out. And then if you look in the back, I undid everything. And you can see that the motor is one of these slow RPM motors. So, and these work really good, and they last a long time, but you can also replace them pretty easily. And then you can see the gears. So this gear up here is the one turning the axle on the top to keep things stirred up. This one is the sprocket in the bottom that's pushing things out. Pretty simple design, pretty impressive though how compact and nice and neat they put it all together in there. And then it's just, you know, put the motor back in. And there's 2 screws that hold that in. And then there were 3 screws, or 4 screws holding the back plate on with some plastic bolts. So all of it's plastic, so you shouldn't get any rust except for the motor, which is good. And then, like I said, it's literally just that. And then there is a thing that it sits on that looks like a plank. That's why they call it the plank. And that has a small pump in it. And the newest version has a C-Che pump in it, and that actually works really well. So I'll show that later one of these days. But for now, I was just going to go over the plank and what's in it and what it does exactly. So you set it up on a timer a couple times a day, and it feeds all the corals and the fish with some lightweight plankton kind of stuff. So that is the Avast Marine plank. You can see it's all handmade, nice, clean, so definitely recommend this product. Alright guys, here's the second half of the plank video review. So basically this sets on the ledge of the aquarium, and then the plank device actually sits on top. And so it drops into this tube. In the tube is actually nothing super exciting. It used to be a different pump, and not a very good one at that. And he since switched it out to a C-Che pump, which is in there. And you can see it's got a special connector on it. And then the way it works is it mixes up, and as it gets saturated with water, it starts to go down and out through this exit, and that allows the water to flow through here, and then the food gets pushed down into the system. Now it is all tied together again with some screws. I have quite a few shims in here because my tank is 1-inch thick acrylic, but essentially it's all held together by that. And then there's a nice little routed channel for the cord. And it is using a C-Che pump with a modified impeller housing. So you can see that it's pretty simple. This snaps on, this snaps in. There is a small pin rivet that holds this from going all the way up to the top. And that's really about it for the pump system. Again, it's a small tube. The only thing I can say is that you do want to clean this thing out once in a while, because it does start to get a little gummed up once in a while. And algae grows in there, stuff like that. So it is important to clean it out once in a while, check on it once in a while, but it's not real hard to do, and it's not real complicated. It's just a matter of taking it off the tank, and that is really about the nature of it. So alright guys, we're going to go over the plank in action now, and so I'm going to turn it on. It's filled at this point, and so essentially what happens when you turn the plank on is this. So there's the plank, and you can see when it turns on, the screw will start turning. It does not move very fast, but you can see that it's turning. And then it drops into the chute. Basically turn it on timer, and then it drops into the chute, and then from there it gets stirred into the pump, and you'll see it start to come out the bottom. And then your fish will come out, and they'll start being happy that they've got a bunch of food in the tank now. So as you see, it just starts to put out the food in the water column. And that is how the plank works. That is the end of the plank video. I do recommend the product. I do like the product. I do like that he switched out the pump for a better pump, and it is just a good product all around for feeding your corals and your fish. And so I usually like to put like a myosis in there. Bulk Reef Supply makes a nice myosis. They also make, so you've got this one that's pretty good. And you know, just your standard myosis, but it's freeze dried. That works really good in there too. So I do like putting those in there, and it will always. So again, the only other disadvantage is you do have to have this one on a timer, and that can be done through like the Apex. That can be done through like a standard timer. Whatever it is, you do need to put it on a timer. This one you just run 24/7.